Everybody, and welcome to this video on dance performance environment. So this is relating to GCSE work, but we can also try this if we're in Key Stage 3 as well. So we will be learning about different performance environments, and we're also going to be applying that knowledge to some exam questions. Okay, so what are performance environments? So performance environments, as we can see in the box there, the definition is different settings for dance. So it is the stages, it is the settings where they are performing. So we have 4 that we need to know. So we need to know about a proscenium arch stage, an end stage, site sensitive, and in the round. So 4 different performance environments that we need to know about. So for the next couple of slides, we're going to be defining and looking at pictures of those performance environments. Okay, so number 1, we have a proscenium arch. So we can see there from the picture that it is a stage and it has the arching over the top, and that's how it's recognizable. So the arch or opening that creates the effect of a picture frame and separates the stage from the auditorium. So we can see that the auditorium there has the rows of seats, and that is separate because there's almost like a picture frame in between, and it has that arch or opening over the top that makes it a proscenium arch stage. Now I encourage you to pause the video, write down proscenium arch, and then write down that definition in that box. So linking to GCSE, we are going to need to know this knowledge because of section A and section C. Now in section C, the works with a proscenium arch stage are Emancipation of Expressionism, Artificial Things, and Infra. So all 3 of those works have a proscenium arch stage. Next, we have end stage or end on. So an end stage is a performance space with the audience on one side. Okay, so now you might want to think, well, how is this different from a proscenium arch? And the main way to tell is that there is no arch. So we can see here in this second picture that it's almost like a black box. You can just see a box stage with the audience on one side, and that's how you identify it. There's no arch over the top. So again, I encourage you to pause the video now and write down this definition. Okay, so section C, so linking it to our dance anthologies, an end on stage happens in Shadows and Elena Curva. So both of those works use the end on stage. Okay, site sensitive work. So site sensitive is dances that are designed for non-theatre spaces. Okay, so these are not traditional dance spaces, these are non-theatre spaces. Okay, so like we can see in those pictures, that we have a dance in hedges, in a bush, in a field, wherever that is. And then the top one, we have a picture of dancers dancing in a waterfall. So these, a water fountain, sorry. So these are site-sensitive dances, so it's anywhere that is not a traditional theatre space, like the end-on or proscenium arch stages. And of course, the section C work with the site-sensitive performance environment is Within Her Eyes, and Within Her Eyes is performed in a field, in a quarry, in a forest. So Within Her Eyes has lots of different performance environments within it. So I encourage you now to pause the video and write down the definition for site-sensitive dance. Okay, final performance environment is in the round. So in the round is a performing area with the audience seated on all sides. And like the title says, in the round, they perform a circle, which is around the performance environment. So we can see from those 2 animation pictures that the dance is going to take place in the middle and the audience is going to form a circle around the dancers. Now there are no section C dance anthologies that we study that have that use the performance environment in the round. However, I encourage you to go on YouTube and try and find some professional dances that use the performance environment of in the round, so you can actually visually see that. But from these two pictures here, it should give you a really clear idea of what in the round means. Again, I encourage you to pause the video now and write down this definition. Okay, now we have knowledge of the performance environments. Remember, there are four we need to know. We just looked at all four and we've defined all four. We're now going to apply that knowledge to exam questions. And we're going to start with looking at section A. So here is your task 1, which will be a mini version of what you will experience in the GCSE dance exam paper. So you'll be asked to create a choreographic intention for a dance, and you'll be given a random stimulus. You won't know this stimulus before the date. You will just be given this stimulus and you will have to create a choreographic intention. You will also have to create a hypothetical choreography, so a made-up dance that you're going to write about. Now, for this one, I've just picked a volcano. This is our stimulus. This is what I'm giving you. The stimulus is obviously a picture, but the picture is, of course, a volcano. Your choreography is a solo, meaning you only have one dancer. So here is the kind of general information that you need to know. Now, you must create a choreographic intention for this dance. So hopefully you're knowledgeable about the choreographic process. You're given this stimulus. This is a volcano. Now you have to create a choreographic intention. Now, a choreographic intention, I've just popped up the definition there at the bottom, is the aim of the dance, what you aim to communicate. So I would pause the video now. You can either write volcano in a kind of mind map bubble, and just mind map off of it, what intentions, what aims could you create a dance around to do with a volcano? I will start you off with an example. If I had this stimulus, this picture of a volcano, my choreographic intention would be lava erupting. Okay, the choreographic intention of my dance is lava erupting. Very simple, and it's come from that picture of a volcano. So pause the video now and create your own choreographic intention. Good, you should now have a choreographic intention. You are now going to answer some GCSE exam questions that you could possibly find on your GCSE exam paper in section A. So let's quickly go through them. So number 1 is name a performance environment you could use in your solo. That is worth 1 mark. So we know 4 performance environments. So to answer that, you simply need to write down a performance environment. However, this question connects with the underneath question. So describe one way your choice of performance environment could be used to support the choreographic intention outlined before. So the performance environment you talk about in the previous question has to be the same performance environment you describe that links to your choreographic intention. Okay, so remember, this must link to your choreographic intention that you've previously created. So don't talk about the performance environment end stage if you can't really remember what end stage is and you won't be able to fully describe it. So pick a performance environment that is you're really confident with, you know what it means, but also that can link to your choreographic intention. So what performance environment is best going to link to the choreographic intention that you previously have talked about? Okay, so now pause the video and answer these questions, please. Roughly, hopefully, should take you about 4 minutes. Off you go. Okay, you should have answered these questions now. So let's have a look at my examples because we're going to mark these. So here are my example answers. So name a performance environment you could use in your solo, and I would use the performance environment site sensitive. Bam, you would get 1 mark because I have said site sensitive. Now we know from listening to this video that site sensitive is of course a performance environment, so you would get a mark. Remember that if you'd put in the round, end on proscenium arch or site sensitive, you would of course got the mark there. So just mark that out of 1 for me. Okay, question number 2. So describe one way your choice of performance environment could be used to support the choreographic intention outlined previously. So remember that my choreographic intention was lava erupting, and I have talked about site sensitive, the performance environment site sensitive. So let's see if I achieve this. I would perform the first half of the solo in an enclosed outside space, for example, a forest, to show pressure of the lava building and being confined within the dancer's body. For the second half of the solo, I would move to a more open space, a field, to show the build-up and eruption of pressure. Now, just to analyse this, have I linked to the performance environment that I have previously stated? So I have talked about site sensitive in question 1. I have then talked about site sensitive in question 2 because I've talked about open spaces, non-traditional theatre spaces, e.g. the forest and the field. The performance environment must then link to your choreographic intention. So then I have then linked my choreographic intention, which you remember is the building and eruption of lava. So I have then said this will show the pressure of the lava building. So I have linked the performance environment with the choreographic intention. And this is detailed enough to get me 2 marks. So read my example and then double check using this purple box to the side whether you would have achieved 2 marks. So pause the video now and mark your own example answer. Okay, moving on, let's try this again. Now we've got the hang of it, let's try it again. So, create a choreographic intention for a dance using this stimulus. I've chosen a new stimulus, so forget the volcano, we're doing another go at this. And your choreography is now a trio. A trio meaning a dance of 3. So you have 3 dancers to play with. Here is your stimulus, better late than never. So that is a word phrase, very different from a picture. So that's all you've been given. This word phrase is better late than never. So you'd want to write that down, put a speech bubble around it, and come off of that and have a think of a choreographic intention. What is the aim of your dance if you have to start with the stimulus better late than never? Pause the video and have a go. Okay, you should have now formed a choreographic intention from the stimulus better late than never. Here are the exact 2 same questions again. So remember, I haven't changed it on here, that's my fault, sorry. But remember that should say trio at the top there because you now have 3 dancers. But other than that, the questions are exactly the same. So what performance environment is going to fit best with your choreographic intention from the stimulus better late than never? Pause the video now and answer these 2 questions, please. Off you go. And remember, this must link to the choreographic intention you have previously created.